This little slab weighs about 40 pounds. If you see it shaking a little bit, I should use it for exercising. But this is part of a fascinating exhibit at the Cowichan Valley District Museum located in Duncan, where the train station is. It's part of the same building. It's called the Mount Circa Mine Display, and we have a couple of guests to talk about that today. Something I did not know, but many people who've lived here do know, and that is that Mount Circa was quite a mining area. There are a couple of big mines on the mountain. With me is Tony Secord, who's responsible for this part of the display at the Cowichan Valley Museum. And tell us about mining on Mount Circa.
Well, at the turn of the century, Mount Circa was one of the largest copper-producing places in all of the BC coast, and also the fourth largest population at the turn of the century on Vancouver Island. And copper was very, very important to this region as smelters grew up in the towns nearby to help form Ladysmith and Crofton and so on.
So they were mining copper on Mount Circa for how long?
They mined it roughly for about 10 years was the boom. But even up into the 1990s, Falconbridge Copper was up there drilling and extracting copper from the mountain.
Now, Mount Circa is just north of Mount Prevost, the first big mountain we see coming out of Duncan. Are there still mine shafts and tunnels and so on?
Yes, up on Mount Circa, there's still there's the Tyee and the Lenora town sites. Mother Nature's claimed a lot of it back, but there are still the shafts. Many of them have been filled in for safety reasons. But there were shafts and tunnels into the mountain to extract the copper.
Did they take a lot out of there?
Yeah, by about the 1960s, the total was something like 300,000 tons of copper they extracted from the mountain, and also some gold, zinc, and cadmium, and some silver.
And gold, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
How much? Do you know?
I don't know the extent of the copper of the extraction of gold, but as copper was the most important resource there.
This bucket looks like some sort of medieval device from a dungeon somewhere, but it's an ore bucket.
That's right. Yes. Yep.
Be careful, I don't bust it.
This particular ore bucket would sit on what they call the windlass, and the bucket would be lowered down into the mine shaft, and they would pull the copper ore up that way.
I want to introduce you also to Alan Gadsden, who lived right by this old tramway, the Tyee aerial tramway, 3 1/3 miles long. And you've collected a lot of this stuff over the years. You used to hike Mount Circa.
Cable, yeah.
You ever mine up there?
No.
Well, what do you see when you go hiking up there?
Well, nothing but trees now, but before all the buildings were up there.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're still up there.
And what are they?
Well, there's hotels, doctor's office, and a post office, and a school. Did you see the school over here?
So you're telling me it was a real community?
Oh, it was 1,700 people up there. Yeah.
So those remains are still there, kind of a ghost town
No,
that's...
not much. Now it's all grown up, just grown all over.
Yeah.
You can see the slag piles, you know.
Yeah. There isn't a whole lot left after nature takes over.
Except what we brought down.
And you brought down a number of things that are in this very display, so as somebody goes up there, they might find something, who knows?
Oh, sure, ask Priscilla. And Tony.
You know, we hear about the coal mining in Nanaimo so often and how big a role that played, but there were other mines here, including Mount Circa.
That's right. There were two major claims on top of Mount Circa, the Lenora claim and the Tyee claim, and to a lesser extent the Richard III claim. But over the years, about 300,000 tons of copper was extracted from the mountain, and it employed a lot of people. Up to 2,000 people worked there and lived there, families, until roughly about 1910.
Now, if I were to go up there, would I still find mine shafts and tunnels and dangerous places?
Well, for danger's sake, a lot of the shafts have been filled in because over the years, you know, children and dogs and so on and so forth have fallen into the shafts, and it's been a dangerous situation, so they filled in the shafts.
Good, they made them safe. I want to end up on the old schoolhouse here. That was on near the summit of Mount Circa, a community that became a ghost town that became nature's refuge and is now all wooded over with the wild things.
Pretty much, but you can still find the odd artifact lying out and signs that the town sites existed. It's basically a ghost town today, though. Mother Nature has claimed it back.
That's right, as she will. Thank you so much. Tony Secord and Alan Gadsden here at the Mount Circa mining display It's at the Duncan Museum, right at the train station, part of that building in downtown Duncan. And actually, this museum belongs to the entire Cowichan Valley. Now, this is but one small corner, although important corner, of this fine museum. And when we return, we're going to have a look at the rest of it. We're going to take a walk through the Cowichan Valley, the way it was 80, 90, 100 years ago.